Hi, we're Adam and Ashley with KBF, and we are back to answer another of our frequently asked questions as it relates to kitchen and bathroom remodeling. Today's question is about tile. Tile is just tile, right? There are so many options out there, but what's the difference between all of these?
So if you've ever gone shopping for tile, I'm sure you've stood in front of that wall of tile and you hear words like porcelain, ceramic, travertine, natural stone, rectified, rectified, right?
Rectified.
And you're probably wondering what all of those mean and which one is right for your specific application. So what we wanted to do today was to explain some of the key differences and things you need to know when choosing the right tile. And so what we went ahead and did, we developed an acronym. Something easy to remember that rolls off the tongue that you can actually take with you shopping, okay? So that is GDMSA.
GDMSA?
GDMSA. Grout, durability, maintenance, size, and adjacency.
GDMSA.
GDMSA.
You're right, it does. It just rolls off the tongue.
Rolls off the tongue.
We think it's funny,
Yeah.
but do other people
No,
think
they
it's
don't.
funny?
No one thinks it's funny.
Okay, so we'll break this down for you. G stands for grout.
Now, most of us want a fine grout joint or as thin as possible, right? So the size of your grout joint is actually dependent on the tile you select. For example, marble, you're able to butt the tiles up together, which gives you the smallest grout joint.
So when you're shopping, oftentimes you'll see 99-cent square foot tile. It looks exactly like the color you're going for. It looks like this. What is the difference between this tile and this one here? You may be tempted to spend the $2 a square foot less on a tile like this, but we are here to say, don't do it.
That's not the place to save, okay? So what they've done in this tile is this is what's referred to as a rectified full body porcelain tile. A few of those differences is that this tile chips, it's actually the same color throughout the tile, whereas this one, you see the red clay back. Another distinction is that these tiles are going to be more similar in size than two of these tiles, okay? And now what that allows you to do is to use the smallest spacers between your tiles, giving you that finer grout joint. Not to mention the weight difference. I am really strong, and this is heavy for me. The next thing you need to consider, the D of GDMSA, durability, is how durable the tile is. Porcelain tile is the most durable tile. It's very scratch resistant, it's non-susceptible to staining, and it's just very hard. Again, I'm very strong, and I could not break this.
Next on the list in GDMSA is maintenance. If maintenance is high on your list of priorities when choosing your tile, we want to go over the differences between what you can purchase.
Maintenance, in a lot of cases, ultimately comes back to grout. Tile with minimal grout joints is often the easiest to maintain. That said, the exception would be a natural stone.
So one thing that we always want to make our clients aware of if they are choosing a marble is the maintenance associated with it. While it is beautiful, it does require a lot of upkeep to keep it that way.
If you do choose a natural stone for your project, you're going to want to seal that at least once a year and make sure you're not using any acidic cleaners, as these can actually etch the marble.
The S in GDMSA stands for size. GDMSA.
GDMSA. Today's tiles are trending towards large format tiles, and they're popular for a number of reasons.
One being they actually make small spaces feel much larger.
Another is that, say you have a 16-inch by 32-inch tile. And let's go a little bit further and say that that's a rectified tile. You'll be able to achieve a 1/16 inch grout joint. So it's a very, very minimal grout to tile ratio.
In a nutshell, what you need to know is that the larger the tile, the less grout joints you'll have.
Last on the list in GDMSA is the A, which stands for adjacency.
Yes, so we can't tell you how many times when wood look tiles first emerged, we were asked the question, I have wood in this other room, but I'd like to match it with a wood look tile in this room. That is a resounding
no.
In design, we always want to make our flooring choices look intentional. And if you're trying to butt up a fake product, a wood look tile, next to the real thing, it's always, always, always going to look like a swing and a miss.
but it goes beyond that. You want to think of the color that you have in the adjacent rooms as well, and a basic rule of thumb to help you decide is never try to match. When you try to match, oftentimes you get very, very close, but you miss, and it looks like it.
In today's design, it's very popular with these open concept homes to have one consistent floor throughout. But if you do have more than one type of flooring in your home, 2, maybe 3, to be intentional and don't put the same product into adjacent rooms. So for example, 2 different wood floors into adjacent rooms, an elm next to an oak, a hickory next to a maple. You always want to be consistent with the flooring choices or go to the opposite side of the spectrum. So if they have a wood floor in their living room, and we can't match that for the kitchen, we're gonna go to a tile for the kitchen flooring. So next time you're going shopping, just remember Gadumsa, and you should be all set.
Or let's say you have a business and you need help developing an acronym for something you're trying to educate your consumers on. I promise, drop a comment below and I'll help you develop an acronym just as spectacular as Gadumsa. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and drop a comment below. We want to hear from you.